We're live. Hey, guys, it's Old Man G here, back again with another pre-match review, and it is Manchester United versus Partizan match preview. And as it says in the thing, we need to win this group. Let's win this group. If we beat Partizan, then essentially we've won the group and we qualified. So let's see. So let's basically see what happens. But it's at home, obviously. And although I love to go down, I'm busy working. Here we go. Hey guys, hope you're back. Hope you're back and watching and listening to this. But yeah, I really think we can win this. Obviously, we did beat Partizan 1-0 away. Partizan do have incentive to come and obviously attack and get, because obviously they need to try and get something from this game. I anticipate. I anticipate, and I know what what's going to happen is like what happened away from home, where Partizan were playing. It was difficult for us to break them down, and I anticipate that's going to be more of the same this time around, where we basically find it difficult to once again break them down basically, and that is going to be our big frustration here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we end up drawing this game, simply the fact that they'll put, 2 bags of 4 and say, listen, have the ball, you're at home, have the ball as much as you want, see if you can break us down. I think that's basically going to be our issue here. The question is, do we have the capability to break teams down? And now, obviously, I know a lot of us are quite down, let's put it this way, after the whole Bournemouth game. Honestly, I'm looking at this season just thinking, yes, I know it's November, but we're, I think, 10 points off top 4 at this point with 11 games played. Realistically, I just don't see Leicester and Chelsea at their form right now dropping significant amount of points that would allow us to sort of, it's possible, and obviously Solskjaer, when he initially came in, climbed 13 good points, and it was great. But do I see us, catching up and competing for top 4 and making those points? I'm not sure. There's nothing that I can see based on what I've seen so far that would convince me that we can really catch up on those points. So if we're honest, United's best chance of getting into the Champions League is going to be the Europa League. Now, whether we have the squad, whether the capability to compete is another matter, especially when the Champions League teams drop into Europa League, then that'll be something. But if we're honest, I think the Europa League is our best chance, and basically we'll take things from there and hopefully strengthen in January and in the summer. But we'll see. We're not winning the title, obviously. We might get a good cup run, but that's where things are. And presumably Ole Gunnar Solksjaer is not going to be sacked. At least that's the impression I get from looking at Solskjaer's conferences. But anyway, before I get into this actual match preview, show you the formation, see how we play, what I want to go through is actually just with a run cap, a review of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference actually. And I'm just reading from the Manchester Evening News actually. And basically, just a few things here. Let's just quickly go look. Yeah, I've got it here. So it's basically Solskjaer and Ashley Young taking the conference. Next time on this stream, I'll have like a browser thing so you can actually see what I'm browsing, which would be good. But anyway, so yeah, basically, yeah, Solskjaer and Young. Lindelof, basically, they confirm that Lindelof won't be fit for tomorrow, so Lindelof's not going to be there. So I imagine that it will be Bayern Munich have just scored, by the way. It will probably be Maguire and Twanteba, I think, is still injured. So it'll probably be Maguire and Rojo playing defence, because I think Jones might be injured as well. On other United injured players, nothing to report. Hopefully, after integrate, we can get a few players back. Pogba said himself, and then on Pogba's injury, he said himself, it won't be too long until he's out of his cast. He'll work hard during the international break and hopefully be back. So potential Pogba to be back by the end of the international break. Solskjaer then mentions talks about the Bournemouth issue. as in the results. He says, we were on a half a run, but it won't happen in one instance that we turn everything around. It was a quick turnaround, and we didn't get the goal deserved early on. Started well, It was great. We're disappointed, but we go again. We go again. You know, be a bit more angry, Solskjaer. You know what I mean? Like it just sounds like it really just sounds when you hear some of these press conferences, the idea that we go again, that he has raised the white flag, and it's semi disappointing here. So just continue reading on. Ashley Young talks about the impact of Paul Pogba, and it's difficult. About the criticism to the squad, he says everyone's entitled to their opinion. I know what I see every day. He says the players are working really hard. He says we've got games coming out that we believe now are winnable. Really, we need to try and to keep putting points to the board. Yeah, Brighton at home is winnable, but there we go. Solskjaer then talks about there's never a shortcut for it's hard work, stick together, team spirit. The work everyone does every day is pleasing for me as manager. They want to do well, and for one reason or another, sometimes we haven't got the results. We feel we deserve a few more results than we have got, but we're working and we're on the right track. Of course, that's what's disappointing, but we've got 2 games that we can win before the break. Well, okay, we'll see about that. We'll see. That's on you. I think he's asked about basically whether it's going to be top 4 Europa League, and it's like, well, we don't know. And then he comments about how it's positive to see the young kids play in the Europa League. Although, frankly, the only thing that we've seen is Brandon Williams occasionally and Mason occasionally. So he hasn't even really used the young kids in the Europa League as well as I would have liked. But that's what Solskjaer says. And then he just goes on to talk about like how we can restore the fear factor, beating Partizan really well. Young talks about how difficult the United start has been. It's been fine margins, winning 1-0, blah, blah, blah. We look like a much better team when we're on the front foot. Things are improving. I think we've shown that in the last couple of weeks. I'm not sure about that. Young and United fans, he's asked, this is interesting. The crowd's massive, like a 12th man. It's down to us as players to put on a performance for them to enjoy. Playing on the front foot, scoring goals, that's what the fans want to see, and hopefully that will be the case tomorrow. And then Solskjaer on January transfers, and it's quite important. It says the priority now is to get the players fit and get to the next round. We always look at long term with transfers. It might be none, might be 1, might be 2 in January. It's always the summer. You can't really do too many big deals in January. So he hasn't ruled out January transfers. That's at least a positive, but there could be none. And given the state of Ed Woodward, probably there could be. Brief issues about the state of the squad. It's that just this is generic stuff. It's improving. I see good performances. We'll see what happens. People coming back, injuries, blah 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 blah. And then obviously just the positive about the fact that Martial and Rashford's connection is very very vital, and how important Anthony Martial is for us. So that's basically just a brief summary of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press reaction to this whole Partizan Belgrade debacle. I say debacle, previous. It might be a debacle. And if I just move on here, this is what I think the team is going to be. Obviously, Romero in goal, who come into place, David De Gea, Marcus Rojo and Maguire, I think will come in as centre backs. I think Phil Jones is still injured. If he's not, then I presume Jones will come in for Maguire, so Maguire's rested. Dalot is still injured as far as I'm aware, so Wan-Bissaka is going to be the right back, who, to be honest, with the way we seem to be doing it, I imagine that Wan-Bissaka is going to be injured as well at some point, because he just seems to be playing all the time, and I just think that's not ideal really for anybody. Moving on, in our left back position, Brandon Williams, I think, because of course we know Ashley Young is going to play at home at the weekend. He is going to play against Brighton. So in order to give him some rest, Ashley Young can't play 2 games in 1 week, from what I can see. So Brandon Williams will come in at left back, and I'm hoping he will inevitably replace Ashley Young, but we'll see what happens. Raymond Moore, I think Ole doesn't care so much about winning now. He just wants the kids to get as much experience as possible and get the best out of them in the next few years. You know, Raymond, I mean, I sort of semi-agree with you, but the issue is that I just don't see him play. He's not playing the kids, though. That seems to be the problem. Like, he's not actually playing the kids. He's playing maybe Brandon Williams occasionally. Greenwood has a few cameo moments. Tahith Chong and Gomez have just been non-existent.
See the place, Ashley Young, but
have been non-existent. So I don't really see. I don't know. I just don't really see where he's playing this youth, where this whole idea of youth is coming from. Because it's. I don't see the evidence of it. I see the evidence of it even in Arsenal. I see the evidence of it in Chelsea, but I don't see the evidence that he's confident with youth at United, to be honest. So moving on, the midfield I assume is going to be the same as the midfielders on Bournemouth. I would love Angel Gomez to come to the squad. Maybe a Garner, possibly Garner might start. I'd hope that maybe this midfield isn't, and Garner might come into this, or Gomez. But I wouldn't be surprised if this midfield three of Fred, McTominay, and Pereira is what we see. Because as I said to Raymond just earlier, I just don't think that Solskjaer is confident in his youth yet, and I think a lot of the youth, what they need is a good spell on loan. That's what I think a lot of these youth players need. In my personal opinion. Moving on, so obviously Fred, McTominay, and Pereira. That's I think what you're going to have essentially. I think it's going to be changed. This is how we seem to be playing right now, at least with Pogba being out. The front three is interesting. Again, I would love Mason Greenwood to take up points, maybe give Martial some breathing space, but I just don't see Greenwood starting. I think that you'll see probably Daniel James on the right. Lingard seems to have been dropped because he's not been performing, and that's fair enough. But Daniel James seems to be playing now as a right winger, even though we know that his best position is a left. So I wouldn't be surprised if Daniel James is there. If not, then Lingard will probably play in this position. Then on the left, obviously Marcus Rashford will be there because obviously of the Marcus Rashford-Martial connection. And Martial obviously up top leading the line. That's what I think is going to happen. In an ideal world, if he's going to play that, I'd love it if we actually played on the front foot from the get-go. And then what would then happen is you got Martial and Rashford scoring plenty of goals, going all out. Let's get 2-3-0 up within the first half. And then, you can then bring in, your Greenwoods, your Gomez's and all the rest of it to basically sort of, come into the side. That for me would be the ideal. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. Just simply from the fact that Solskjaer's being cautious. Solskjaer's being cautious. But that is what I predict the starting 11 to be, in my opinion. Right. So going back, I do expect us to win. I do expect that this game will be very difficult, and I do that Partizan are a team that will literally park the bus. They will want to get something out of this game, and a draw for them is perfectly fine. If we win this game, obviously, we do top the group and we do qualify, which would be great. And obviously, one of the positive things that people need to realize about the Europa League is that when you top the group, from what I understand of the Europa League, it means that you kind of avoid all the teams that drop in from the Champions League. So we'll be playing second place, second tier teams, at least in the round of 32, which will be good. And then obviously, the quarterfinals and stuff like that. Bob's your uncle, But at the very least, for the round of 32, we won't be drawn against a Champions League team. Obviously, any first place teams in the Europa League. When it comes to this round of 16 and then the quarterfinals, that will be a different matter. But hopefully by then, it might be that at that point we've got to be like, well, actually, let's put all our eggs in one basket and basically prioritize the Europa League. It's what Mourinho did. Mourinho looked and said, you know what, we're not going to get Champions League this way. He got us into the Champions League 2 seasons in a row, to be fair to him, via Europa League and then via league position with this, squad. And that was that really, Raymond Moore, I think Ollie should really rest Rashford at this point. If he gets injured, then we are done. I absolutely agree that Ole Gunnar Solksjaer should rest Marcus Rashford. Do I see it happening? I don't think so. I just don't get why he doesn't play Mason Greenwood at the very least in the Europa League games. Either this is the player, Marcus Rashford, persisting wanting to play, in which case I still think that the manager has a responsibility to say to Marcus Rashford, listen. You can't play. You need to rest. And he has not rested from as long as I can remember. And as soon as we go into international duty, he'll be on international duty as well. So part of me, and I know you shouldn't wish anything bad on a player, but part of me hopes that like after the games that maybe he picks up a bit of a knock, and pulls out of England duty so he can get some rest. Or Solskjaer alternates it because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If you're new to the channel and you're watching, I really appreciate it if you like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, as you can see down below. At We Are United X, and we are on Twitch at it's Red Devil Studio, as you can see down below. So please, if you can, back that way, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. I really appreciate it. Score predictions. I wouldn't be surprised if we drew, to be honest. And I know I want to see loads of goals. But honestly, I just think that we're going to see... Rasmus A. Georgia B. Ole needs to rest all the first teamers or risk a loss to Brighton. Another loss to a team likely to get relegated would be disastrous. And then I see Phil Jones and Rojo getting starting back. Maybe Garner and Greenwood as well. Well, that's interesting. In regards to your first point, Georgia B, welcome to the channel. I think you've commented on before, but appreciate you stopping by for this match preview. If you look at the previous Europa League games, has Ole Gunnar Solksjaer rested the vast majority of first teamers? My answer would be, you look at the Europa League, you even look at the League Cup, although I guess with Chelsea, did he rest any of the first teamers there? No. Our League Cup game against Chelsea, as far as I could see, aside from Lingard, who's been in and out, and Williams, everyone else was first team. I think Romero might have been playing in goal, but Romero's a solid enough second choice keeper. For me, that's fine. But in terms of our outfield players, he didn't. And even against Partizan, if I can recall, I still think most of our first team players played. I don't think Greenwood started. I think maybe you had, I think Chong or Garner might have been there. Williams was certainly playing. I admit it was there, but essentially what I'm saying is that, and this is going back to obviously the team that you can see here. As you can see, the only non first team player there is Williams. I think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will think we can win this game and secure our qualification. And the reality is that we still have, this is match day 4, we still have 2 Europa League games left. If we win this game, we essentially more or less assure our qualification. We probably will top the group. And then that means that in the latter 2 games, we can actually end up resting players. So I guess it makes sense in a way. Solskjaer says, right, you know what we'll do? We'll go all out with a strong team, hopefully press, and hopefully go on the front foot, and hopefully score a lot of goals, and then rest players during the game. But as I said, the big issue with United this season has been breaking teams down, and Partizan will not let us have any space at home, and it'll be a difficult game. And that's why I think my score prediction is probably going to be, I think we'll win, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a 1-0 with probably a Martial goal. 1-0 to Manchester United. I don't think Partizan will give us any problems, assuming that we actually score and continue to push on and press. Because I remember in that game last time, we played quite well in the first half. We got our goal, and then, in typical almost Mourinho-esque fashion, we dropped back, and the last 20 minutes of the game, Partizan looked quite dangerous. We need to go out into the first half. If our first was the strongest first half, go out, score 2-3 goals, get a stronghold on the game, rest players, and then we can sort of take things from there. In answer to your other point, I see Phil Jones and Varro getting starting back. Maybe Garner Green as well. As far as like I said, Phil Jones coming in, I think Jones will. If Jones is fit, then I guess he'll come in. If he's not, I imagine Maguire will be there. Although like I said, any team with Rojo and Jones and even Ashley Young in, is a cause for concern. As for Garner and Greenwood, I love it if Garner and Greenwood started. I just really don't see it. I don't see it. Greenwood might come on. Garner out of the three is probably the only one I think might. Williams will definitely start, I think, at left back because Ashley Young can't play 2 games in a week. So I know that's definite. But as far as Garner, I would say more likely than Greenwood, just to give that midfield opportunity to rest. That's what I would say. Raymond Moore. We're just coming to the end of the stream, and obviously Champions League is about to start, which is probably why this isn't so busy. So last point with Raymond, Mata and Lingard should be playing. No point of keeping them bench at the time. I agree. It's quite possible that, and if we look at the formation again, that instead of Pereira playing in that position, you probably have Mata being the number 10 because he's not a winger, even at Europa League level. So Mata might go in a number 10 position with Rashford and Daniel James or Lingard. I think you probably should play Martial, Rashford, Mata's number 10, and Lingard on the right with Fred and McTominay, and then obviously the back four, and then throwing Jones. That's probably what I see happening. But I just think that Solskjaer will think that this is a must-win, and he'll go for it, and he'll go over strongest 11. And I just don't see him resting much, to be honest. Raymond Moore, Giorgio B. I hear what you're saying, but Ollie's team selections have backfired so far. I agree with that statement. We lost to Bournemouth because several players saw 3 games in 6 days. I agree. Fred and McTominay looked knackered in second half. I absolutely agree. The thing is, I absolutely agree with you. I agree with you. I agree. The problem is, as we've always said and as we've known for so long, is that at the end of the day, did we invest in the summer fully? No, we didn't. We let a lot of key players go. We let Herrera go. We let Herrera and Fellaini go, and we haven't replaced any of our midfield players. We let Lukaku go. We didn't bring another forward in. We bought a centre-back, but honestly, we have tons of centre-backs. The problem is that either they weren't good enough or they were injured. But we actually have tons of centre-backs. And then obviously the right-back was Ashley Young. I get that. But the reality is that the depth of the squad, is gone. We have a weaker squad than we have this year. And Ole Gunnar Solksjaer, for some reason, does not feel confident in using a lot of the young players. And to be fair, unfortunately, a lot of the young players at Man United are just stuck in under 23 level. And I think that your Chongs, your Gomez's, your Greenwoods all should demand for loan moves in January to go away, to play and get experience. They have to force it. Just like Jadon Sancho did, just like so many others are with their agents, forcing those loan moves. Forget about another contract. If you really want to get on top of your game, you want to play football, you need young players these days almost need to be like Sancho and be like, okay, I'm going to go out on loan, I'm going to be signed by an open player, and I want to make it big, I want to play because I'm not getting any of these opportunities. That's the reality, because I don't see any of these young players getting persistent, consistent opportunities to develop at Manchester United at this moment in time. We'll see what happens. Like I said, Champions League is probably about to start, so we'll basically end the stream. But thanks again for watching, guys. If you like what you hear, please like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. We'll obviously be doing a post-match reaction to the event tomorrow night, and then sometime after that as well, we will be doing a Red Devil Studio live as well. Last comment, which I think goes to Georgia B. I was certain we signed Bruno in the summer. He would have filled the creative void. Ole apparently wanted Longstaff or nobody else. I think that's I really just don't understand. To be honest, I don't. I hope that's not true. I mean, I know Urbine scored a second goal, but yes, they scored a second goal. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that we should have got something creative. There's so many positions that we should have filled. To be honest, if I'm honest, Manchester United actually needed a defensive midfield player, a right winger, a creative attacking midfielder, and a centre back and a right back. So we needed at least 5 positions. We got 2 in Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, but we needed an actual defensive midfielder to replace Matic. We needed a creative midfielder to exchange with Pogba, or at least to play alongside Pogba, or at least a box-to-box midfielder, and we needed a right winger because Lingard isn't, and we don't have an actual right winger to win. I don't even think Lingard is the right winger in my opinion. So that's the issue on the board. That's the issue on management. Oh, and we also need someone to replace Lukaku. So 6 positions. So there we go. That's the reality of Manchester United. We've known that. We always know that. But we carry on. And hopefully we have a good enough squad to beat Partizan tomorrow. Thanks again for watching, guys. Please like, share and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. I said we'll be live tomorrow with a post-match reaction to this game, as well as a Red Devil Studio live podcast straight afterwards. So stay tuned to that. Have a nice evening, guys, and cheers.